So when I was 13, 12, 11 years old, I started losing a lot of energy that I had as a child. I was a very, very active child, very energyful. How do I say this? I don't know. But I was very, very, very vivid, you know? I was a person that was always doing something, that I was always playing with my friends, I was always very social, you know? And that even turned into a problem because I was so extroverted that I would probably do fucking anything in front of anyone. But okay, this is a children's thing, right? This is a childish thing to do today, nowadays, right? Isn't it? Actually, not. Because you only lose this when you get to your teenage years and it starts to become cringe, you know, to be that childish. And I agree, kind of. You shouldn't be childish in front of others. You shouldn't be acting like a child, acting like a boy. Actually, this channel preaches pretty much the opposite. Me, Cesare, I think you should act as a man, not as a child. But you should be as vivid as a child. You should be as liveful, as full of energy as a child. And I'm going to explain you why you aren't as a young man. So when I was 11 years old, I would still have this energy of a child, but I needed to like get it closed, you know, to enclosure it because I started having a lot of consequences in life because of this. You only develop the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that is responsible for consequences, for knowing that your actions have consequences. It starts developing around the teenage years and it finished development at 25 years old. So at 25 years old, you're totally developed in the questions, in the thinking of the prefrontal cortex, okay? But this starts out in your teenage years. So when it started out for me, I started noticing the consequences that my actions had. And being that clown that I was very extroverted and a lot of a clown. I did a lot of things for clout. I was kind of getting rejected by a lot of girls. I was getting socially rejected at basically every single thing in my life. The problem with this was the fact that I did the things whatsoever. So I started getting like a history around of me that I'm this extroverted clown guy, you know? And this stayed with me for a lot of time. Inclusive, it is probably with me until now. A lot of people in school despise me because of the things that I did when I was 9 years old. So I started losing this when I was 11. Alright, okay? You already know this. But I lost more and more and more until when I was 15, 16 years old. I was like this tired guy that's just stayed in the corner of the room all the time, kind of looking sad all the time. I was very shy and anxious socially. I was overthinking every single situation that I would have gotten. So when some girl came to talk to me, I was like surprised. Oh, hey, hey. And I was talking with a really with a really high voice. I can't not laugh imagining this situation again. But I was a really shy and socially anxious person. And I've kind of regained this strength, this vitality now that I am 17, 1 year and a half later. I'm almost 18, so it is almost 2 years. So it turned out that I wasn't really that shy and socially anxious. I wasn't really this antisocial guy that just stayed in his room all the fucking day long. I was just a normal guy. There was just one problem. And now these things were just symptoms of this problem that I had. And this problem was low testosterone. And I'm going to prove you that you have it too, so you can learn your way to fix it. The first symptom of low testosterone that you can notice upon yourself It's the fact that you don't have morning mood anymore. When you wake up, your dick isn't as hard as it was before, or isn't even hard whatsoever. Talking about this is actually kind of funny, isn't it? But when you wake up, your dick should be rock fucking hard. And this is because your hormones make their maintenance at night. So every time that you go to sleep, your hormones, your brain, your body, your whole body, it's making the maintenance of the body. This means that it is actually also making the hormone maintenance, and this means it is making testosterone maintenance. When you are like 12, 13 years old, you can have bad sleep, you can have tons of bad habits, you can be fat, you can be like eating junk food all day long. Your dick will be fucking hard as fuck in the morning no matter what. But if you keep doing these things, if you keep doing the bad habits, the bad things that you know are not good for your hormonal health, for your hormonal maintenance, when you wake up, your dick is not gonna have all these hardness, you know? It'll get softer and softer until you don't get hard in the morning whatsoever anymore. And if it's already kind of soft, or even all the way softer, you probably have very low testosterone in this moment. Don't worry too much about it though. It is not permanent. You can raise your testosterone back up. It is just hard as fuck. So if your dick is hard in the morning, every single morning, you should keep doing the good habits because it can be soft. Don't think this is forever. Probably when you get like 50 years old, you can still have this hard dick if you keep doing the good habits in the morning. Usually, people will tell you the opposite, right? When you get 60, when you get 50 years old, it is normal. It is normal to have these problems. It can be normal, it can be common, but it's not healthy. That's why people on 50, 60 years old are on TRT, right? They're restoring the testosterone that they had before. And it is so fucking important to have this hard dick in the morning because it makes all your life like better. It is funny to say that, right? But having a hard fucking dick in the morning and walking up to the world with this hard fucking dick, getting out of your bed with this hard fucking dick, it's so fucking awesome, man. So, having no morning mood, it's a huge sign of low testosterone. You should have this hard fucking dick in the morning. So, this is a huge sign that you have low testosterone, right? This is a huge symptom. The next symptom is the fact that you're very anxious and shy. You can think this is just a personality trait, but it is actually not. In men that are socially anxious and shy around huge ambience objectively have lower testosterone. There's a lot of studies, actual studies on this. Men that are very anxious and shy, they are literally on lower testosterone levels. And this is not causation versus correlation because there are some men, some shy men that actually have good social lives and they still have lower testosterone. Low testosterone actually causes shyness. It causes social anxiety. You're not socially anxious naturally. You're probably not. You just have low testosterone. That's it. And there's also the fact that being social, it's ability. It's an actual ability. So you can train being social. It is kind of hard to believe this once you hear it for the first time, actually. But you can level up your skill of socialness. Because if you have all the signs of high testosterone, you don't have any signs of low testosterone, and you're still very socially anxious and very shy, you're probably just socially inexperienced. Really, you're just socially inexperienced. And being socially inexperienced, it's actually something that will correlate to your whole fucking life if you don't train it. So there's a few ways that you can train social inexperience. You can read books on socialness. Yes, there's actually works. Uh, Someone studied fucking socialness every single time of their lives and put out in books. You can just read them and learn. The best book on social mess that I've ever heard about, it's How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And this is not only my opinion, a lot of people will tell you this. This book is awesome, like actually awesome. You need to devinculate, destroy in your brain the idea that only losers and like people who need self-help gurus, they read these books, because you need to read them too, and you will realize how useful they fucking are. It is bizarre. In today's days, you're probably like convinced the opposite, right? You're convinced that you're probably convinced that people who read these types of books are labeled as like people who watch anime, and want to be like Ayano Koji. But it's actually not. These books are actually useful. They're useful for your day-to-day life. And reading them doesn't make you a loser at all. The third symptom of low testosterone levels that you might have, it's low muscle gain and high fat gain in womanly areas. When you get fat, like let's say you do a very heavy bulk, a very dirty bulk, you get fat, and most of this fat goes to your titties and like around your waist, making your waist look bigger, your hips look bigger. These are womanly areas to have fat on. Of course, you can have the genetic predisposition to have fat on these areas, but when you gain fat on only these parts on your chest, looking like you have like little gynecomastia, little man tits, you're probably on low testosterone because you're receiving fat on womanly areas, and plus you have low muscle development. So let's say a guy just enters the gym with you, you found your gym partner, and she just magically makes more progress than you for no reason whatsoever. Let's say you started equal. He's like this line on the right side, and you're this one. And he's just getting better than you for no reason at all, apparently. Maybe not even getting better on strength than you. Maybe he's having the same workouts as you, the same diet, and he still looks better. He still gets better muscle. This may be because he has high testosterone and you have low testosterone. You can also observe that in the fact that if your friend just has abs for no reason at all, he just has abs. He doesn't go to the gym, and you're almost like killing yourself to have abs, at the gym, your diet. And this might also be a sign of low testosterone because you're having low muscle gain and womanly fat because you're getting fat around your waist. This is why your abs doesn't show. It is difficult as fuck to put on muscle when you're in a state like that. It is difficult as fuck to do everything, actually. Like, it is difficult to do business. It is difficult to meditate. It is difficult to do every single good habit when you have low testosterone. So if you have these three symptoms, you should seek out for ways to raise your testosterone, for ways for you to get better so you won't have these symptoms anymore. And actually, a lot of things will get better on your life once you get high testosterone. Like, your life will be completely different as a young man. Trust me when I say this. That is it. Remember, the value of a man is just as high as his ambitions.